Hi there, you're welcome to Senary's class, a channel where we make learning easy and absorbable. If it is your first time of coming across our video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and also recommend this channel to your loved ones and your friends. So this is BECE 2026 English Language Questions and Answers. We presented Social Studies BECE 2026 question and answers to you. We are going to solve all the subject here for you to see with the solutions, the standard marking scheme. Alright, so please stay tuned to the end of this video so you don't miss any section of it. Alright, so under the writing, for the BECE, the structure is that first you'll be given questions under essay writing, comprehension, and then literature. So under the writing, which happens to be the essay writing, 3 questions were given to the student this year. So the first question reads that you are not allowed to watch television after 7 o'clock in the evening, but your favorite program is shown at that time. So you have to write a letter to your father asking for an extension of the time and give 2 benefits you will gain from the program. So you do watch a program in the evening, let's say 7. So it could be any educational program, it could be a quiz program or whatever it is. And then your dad has now given a time at where you should sleep. And the program is aired around 7 in the evening. So you are writing a letter to request from your dad to extend your time so you'll be able to watch this favorite movie or favorite educational program, and also telling your dad some benefit that you can derive from it. So this is clearly a semi-formal letter. This is clearly a semi-formal letter. And then you know that for semi-formal letters, they are letters that we write to our close relatives. And here it is about your dad. So the formal structure is very important. Though it is a semi-formal letter, the structure should be a formal structure, not an informal. This is where you're not writing to your brother or your cousin. This is your dad. So the formality of it should be maintained. Then you need the writer's address. You write it at the top right corner of your page or of your book, the top right corner. Then from there, the date follows. Now note that we don't leave any space right after the writer's address when writing the date. It comes right below it. We don't leave any line. So we don't leave any line when writing the date. Then the next one is salutation. So you can use dear father, dear papa. So we can use that for our salutation. Then our introduction. So from there, you give an introduction of why you're writing the letter, and then trying to even share some interesting moments of this program even to your dad in the introductory stages. And then the body. So the body is the main content of the letter, where you now present point as to why you want daddy to extend your time. This program, the benefits that it poses to you, and then you asking for an extension from your dad. And then you conclusion is where you summarize all the points, you summarize everything. And then the salutation, so you can use your son or your daughter, that's depending on whoever is writing. And then yours obediently, you can also add that to it. So this was given to students to answer. That is a semi-formal letter where the student is requesting for extension from the dad. Now let's move to question number 2. So it says your school has qualified for the 2026 National Debate Competition. Your school has qualified for the 2026 National Debate Competition. As the main speaker of your school's debate team, you have to write your speech for or against the motion the basic education certificate examination should be abolished. So this is clearly a question which is going to have features of a debate. All right, it says write your speech. So this is a debate competition, and then you are going to use the features or format of debate, writing of a debate. So for debate, the first thing is that you need an open greeting. you need an open greeting. So this is where you present something like addressing the vocatives and then also greeting the house and also trying to acknowledge the presence of some dignitaries or some people around. So you begin by this a sample. So Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeepers, fellow debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Henry Obese, and I stand before this house to declare my my opinion on the topic on the motion the basic education certificate examination should be abolished. And I firmly confirm that I stand against the motion. I stand for the motion. So in the open greeting, this is where you try to address the house. So here you can state your stance, or you can just do the greetings by addressing the house. You can also do this in another way, that Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeepers, fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I deem it a great opportunity to be part of this event to state my opinion or my stance on the topic basic education certificate examination, blah 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 blah. So you do some open greetings in that section. Then from there, you just continue with the introduction. The introduction. So introduction is where you can now throw more light on the topic or on the motion, and then try to declare your stance. And then from there, you will receive permission from the chairman to now present your points on whether you are for or you are against the motion. And then we have the main argument. This is where the major argument of your motion comes in. So here you present facts, figures, and try to convince the house as to why you think BECE should not be abolished. And finally, you conclude. You conclude by summarizing every point you've raised and then declaring your stance again, that you still hold on to your stance, that you are in for the motion or you are against the motion. So debate was also given to students this year, BECE 2026. Now the third and final question says, your best vacation was when you visited a friend in another part of the country. Describe two differences you noticed between his or her community and yours. So this is just a descriptive essay, all right? You describe what you see, the differences between your place and that friend's place. So introduction, you introduce. So I was privileged to visit my friend who happens to live in another part of the country. Josiah has been my faithful friend back in school days and happened to live in Kuwait. On so I had the chance to visit Josiah in Kuwait, particularly a town called Kambala or something. All right, and then you present and then you tell us the difference, some of the things you saw there comparing to your place, you not having or you not seeing it before without being your first time. You can discuss all this in there. So with the introduction, that is where you try to give us something brief about your friend, even why you went there and all that goes into the introduction. And then the main body comes, the body where you organize your points in paragraphs and then your conclusion. So this is what the examiners was expecting from students, and I believe all candidates who took part in this year's BECE did their best. So they are going to come out with good grades and they will do exceedingly very well. Let's move to the next, that is the comprehension. So we are going to read the passage and then we'll use it to answer the questions under it. So let's all read together. All right. So with the help of my laser, we'll all read together. So it says, there is a very interesting debate going on in the society. It is between two main groups, the older and the younger generations. The former claim that they are not happy with the behavior and general comportment of the latter. According to the older generation, the mode of dressing and the mannerisms of the younger ones are appalling. They cite the case of the male youngsters who wear their trousers so low as to expose their pants and waist. They also say that the case of the young females is even worse, as they wear dresses which expose their vital parts. This, according to the older generation, usually gets them into trouble. In sum, the accusation against the younger ones is that they lead carefree lives and snub the advice of their parents and guardians. The younger generation reply all these criticisms rather politely for obvious reasons. The argument is that the members of the older generation are not being fair to them. Their main point is that their parents and guardians should accept the facts that times have changed and the days of the older generation are gone. They even make fun of the hairstyles and clothes of their parents and guardians in family albums. However, they are quick to admit that the mode of dressing and haircuts was acceptable in those days. All said and done, the difference between the two generations will always be there, and it should not create a problem. Parents and guardians will just have to continue to give advice and directions to the young ones to save them from all sort of vices. The plea of the youth is that the elders should be patient enough to give them good reasons and explanations for pieces of advice they give. In fact, this is a very interesting passage that Wire brings this year. Very, very interesting. It's a debate about the younger generation and the older generation. The older ones are saying our time we were not doing this. But your time, you call it fashion, you call it normal life. You are the Gen Z generation. So I think Wire really did very well in bringing this particular passage. So let's answer the questions. A says, according to the older generation, what could be the effect of the young female's mode of dressing? So where can you find this? Talking about the dressing of the young females. So that is right in the first paragraph, which is here. It says, they also say the case of the young females is even worse, as they wear dresses which expose their vital parts. So one effect could be that dresses which may expose their vital parts and may usually get them into trouble. So that's what we have here. So it exposes their vital parts and leads them into trouble. That is the answer to number 4A. 4B, how do the younger ones tease their elders? So when we refer back to the passage, it says that they make fun of the hairstyle and clothes of their elders in the family album. So they made fun of their hairstyle and their clothes as seen in their family album. C, in what two ways do the younger ones defend themselves against what the older ones say against them? So the younger ones were not mute, but they still brought out points to free themselves against all criticisms from the older generation. So he says, one, the members of the older generation are not being fair to them. They raise that point in there. And two, the older generation should accept that times have changed and the days of the old are gone. D, the difference will always be there. What does this mean for the future? So this simply means that generations will come and generations will still continue to disagree with each other on so many things, and this gap will always remain. So generations will come, generations will leave, they will all come with their developments, with their changes, with their do's, and that shouldn't affect other generation. That shouldn't be something that makes that generation very special, very better than the other generation. So the difference will always be there. Let's not fight over the difference, but accept the changes in each one's generation. Then E says, explain the following in your own words. The mode of dressing. It's simply talking about the way or the manner you dress. Obvious reasons means clear or understandable reasons. All said and done, meaning after everything has been considered or after everything has been said. Then we are to find the same word or meaning to the following words. So first one is appalling. It says something is appalling, meaning it is shocking or terrifying. And we have expose. When we say to expose, meaning you want to show or reveal. Then we have vital. Vital means something that is very important or essential. And snub is when you ignore or refuse to talk to someone. When you ignore or refuse to talk to someone. Jean says in 2 sentences of not more than 8 words each, summarize the accusations against the younger generation. So in the passage there were some accusations from the older ones to the younger ones. He said we have to summarize it of not more than 8 words. So it means that for summary writing, anytime you produce your answer and it tells you, the instruction tells you not more than 6, it means the words that you write shouldn't go above 6. If it goes above 6, we'll mark you down. So when I look at my answer for GI, I said they dress in an appalling manner. And this is 5 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly 6. So it shouldn't be more than what? 8. That was what the question demands. And also what they ignore the advice from the parents. This is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. So that is summary writing. Take that into consideration. Shouldn't be more than the given or the targeted amount of words stated in the question. Let us now move to the literature aspect of the BECE. So Amata do the dilemma of a ghost. So he says next morning, Petu enters with a wooden bowl full of white and oiled otto, that's the martial. Akroma comes behind him carrying a brass tray containing a herbal concoction and a kind of sprinkling broom. They go around the courtyard sprinkling the walls and the floor with the floor first with otto, then with the portion. The gunman beats the gun behind them. They circle thrice around the courtyard. So A says, what are Petu, Akroma, and the gunman doing in the extract? So they are performing what? A purification or a cleansing ritual for the house. And B says the extract is an example of instructions called the stage direction. The stage direction. Now C and D are questions on Debbie, Sandy, and Pepe. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten by God. So C says, where are the above words written? So these words were written on a wooden plaque, or you can say they were written on a plaque hanging on a wall. And then D says, how does reading the words in the extract affect Debbie? So he says that they provide her with comfort, reassurance, and a sense of being cared by God. So those words are serving as real comments. It's re-echoing that yes, as the bird, Pepe, you have a place in the heart of God. God is caring for you and all that. Then Teresa Ennings Makola, the runny-nosed baby at her back, is supported by a faded 80-year cloth. So he says, whose baby is mentioned in the expression? According to the poem, there was a baby. There was a mother with 10 arms carrying a bowl with a baby at the back. So the answer will be what? A market woman's baby. A picture of Dash is painted in the above expression. So head bent, racks, things turned upside down should tell you frustration, should tell you there's hardship, there's poverty in the system. So this is an expression of poverty or hardship. Alright, then let's look at a wreath of tears and then the generous hunter. So the poem is a tribute to Dash. So the poem, A Wreath of Tears, that is why it's important for you to be reading your the stories in your literary book. So for the form tools, you'll be examining on the beacon of light. It's important that you read it thoroughly. So we'll be coming your way, we'll be reading it together, we'll be looking at the summary, the subject, the matter, and all that of it. So let us always stay tuned on St. Henry's class and always tap on the notification bell. Put it on active, so anytime we post any video you can get it. So it says the poem is a tribute to who? A dead person. It says, from the garden of memory suddenly blooming as with first rains. From the garden of memory suddenly blooming as with first rains. So this is a poem saying to or being read to the dead person. You've already answered that. And it says, what does the underline refer to? The underline is the garden of memory. The garden of memory. So garden of memory is just what? A memory or a portion of the mind where past or old stuff are stored. Sometimes some old things, some sadness moments, whatever, they are kept inside there. So there are times where you have to pour all of them out. Your mind re-echoes on them and brings them into life, and then you cry or you ponder over some of them. That is the garden of memory. And finally, we have the generous hunter. Come with me, Mr. Hunter, the snake said. Asempa obeyed. The snake showed him a yellowish green leaf. And I says, how did the yellowish green leaf help Asempa at the end of the story? And according to the story, he used this yellowish green leaf to serve as a medicinal cure for the king's daughter who wasn't feeling well, and that earned him a reward. That earned Asempa a reward. And then G says the literary device in snake said is what? Personification. So a snake talking, a snake expressing itself. That is personification. We are giving inanimate expression to inanimate object, and that is personification. All right. So this brings us to the end of the question and answer session of BECE. This is English. We've gone through it. So stay tuned. We'll come your way with the other subject like RME and science and math and all that. And we'll be studying on this channel. For those who are requesting for the BECE papers, I will share a link in my description that will direct you to a page where you can get all these questions and go through. So thank you for watching. This is Sir Henry, your humble tutor, and I'm out. Thank you and bye.